Today we're going to make some really colorful and easy spring flower blooms, and we're going to use Tooli Art Paint Pens to show you how easy they can be done. So this first set I'm going to do with my Tooli Art acrylic brush pens, and I'm starting out by creating just some blobs of color that kind of alternate down this rock. This is a kind of unique rock. It's kind of long and tall. And so the design that I'm going to put on this one just kind of popped into my head, like this is a perfect rock for it because it's long and we can kind of stretch the design out on it. And you can see that this is definitely going to take 2 coats, partially because there's no base coat for this. And then these pens are a little different in that you don't feel the ink kind of roaming around in it and you don't shake them or prime them. So sometimes you have to prime them by using them. So they kind of need to, shake the dust off and get their flow going again, so that you can definitely see lines in my first coats here. So I'm just going to come back over them and give them extra coats until it's got a nice solid coverage that I'm happy with. Another way to kind of avoid doing that is you could put gesso down or white chalk paint or even white paint as kind of a base coat, but I wanted to use the pens as my kind of guide to making the blobs. Like, they're easy to hold, you're holding them like you're writing, so I figured it would be kind of a fun way to create the blobs. So either way, you can put a base coat down or you can just do multiple coats. Laying it down on its side gets more coverage. That's one kind of trick with these that's kind of cool. Then on this other rock, I'm going to use my Tooli Art Blues and Purples set, and I picked out 4 different colors, and I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of make some blobs. And this design will be slightly different, so I'm kind of going to use the blobs to cover most of the rock, but still have some of the natural rock shining through in between the blobs. Now coming back to that original rock, here comes the design. Really simple. So you're going to make kind of a half watermelon or like a U shape, a really wide U shape, and then add lines in the middle and then dots on top of those lines. So I guess these are probably like kind of abstract dandelions. I've seen them a lot on like bookmarks and different things, but it's just a very simple thing to draw on the rock. And I'm using a Posca PC1MR black paint pen because I just really like how they roll across the rocks. They're easy to write with and draw with, so that's what I decided to use for this design. And after I finish up with this last purple blob, I'm going to create some lines, kind of some stems that kind of connect each one of these together, kind of moving down the rock. So it's just kind of a flowy stem they're all going to be interconnected, just like all of us in the world, right? And then I'm also going to take the black Posca PC1MR and I'm going to add some sort of, I don't know if I want to call them splatters or kind of blobs of black. So they're kind of, I guess they're kind of imitating a paint splatter, but I'm just going to add them for a little bit of accent, kind of all over the rock, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And as I was doing this, I realized that I didn't like how spaced out my little dandelion flowers were. I felt like they looked a little sparse. So I wanted to come back in and actually create some additional lines to kind of fill them in. So I went back in and did some kind of varying lengths of lines and added the dots to the top just to kind of fill them in. And I think this is what they needed. Now switching it up to the blues and purples rock, and this design is going to have some very simple leaves. So you're going to draw a leaf with a line down the center, and then you're going to make diagonal lines down one side of each leaf, and you can alternate the sides of the leaves that you want to put the diagonal lines, but it's just a very simple design, and then some stem lines to connect them. And so I'm kind of using the shape of the rock to determine how I'm placing the leaves kind of around the edges and coming down around the sides. Just a very, very simple design that anyone can do. And the cool thing about these designs is that you can, kind of take them to the next level by picking different colors. You could go really bold and bright. You could do very muted earth tones. You could do really fluorescent colors would be kind of fun to do, or even different shades. Like if you did one all in blues, you could do different shades of blue. That would be really pretty as well. But just very simple design, but you can take it wherever you want to go with it, just with the colors, the blobs, and just the simple little details that you can add to it. Maybe you don't want to do horizontal lines, maybe you do vertical lines or dots. And this had a nice open space at the top, so I decided I was going to write the word bloom at the top. So these rocks were really just me going for it, no plan in place aside from wanting to do blobs and pretty boho designs. And then I decided these need a little sparkle, so I'm going to take my extreme hologram glitter paint and a nail dotting tool and add some of the glitter paint to the sides of the leaves that don't have the stripes. So this will just add a teensy bit of sparkle that will catch the sunlight, and I think it's just perfect for this design. I like to add the glitter paint with a nail dotting tool when I can fit it, if it's not super detail work, because I like how it gets it on there nice and thick so that there's plenty of sparkle. You gotta make sure that it dries all the way before you put any resin or sealer on, but I just like that it adds it nice and thick. Check out how these turned out. Super fun, super easy, but how much fun would it be to find this in the park? I hope you found some easy inspiration today. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.